He can stretch the defense. Might be the most exciting college football receiver in the land.
Well, his availability for tonight's game earlier this week was called into question. For more on that, let's go down to Don Davenport.
Yeah, Clay, Traven Durrell was involved in a minor car accident Sunday morning. Wasn't his fault. He was hit from behind, but the impact caused a gash that required 13 stitches over his left eye. Now, he practiced Wednesday. Coach Miles tells me you're going to see plenty of him here tonight. I actually caught up with Traven prior to the game. He said he doesn't expect this injury to affect his play here tonight whatsoever because the cut's actually low enough to where his helmet doesn't rub over it. Now, the training staff did fit him with a protective plastic visor, so you will see him in that here tonight. Guys, he also told me he feels pretty lucky. It was a close call.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And LSU is lucky to have him. All 13 of his career catches have resulted in either a first down or a touchdown. He is a big play kind of guy. ULM won the toss. They elected to defer. We're going to see the LSU offense right away. Justin Manton has it on the tee. Terrence McGee and Leonard Fournette, a terrific freshman, back to return, and it is Fournette. To the 20, 25, 30. Good return for Fournette. Out near the 40-yard line, and the kicker, Justin Manton, had to make the tackle.
It's a great way to start the game. Fournette brings excitement as a true freshman. Ability to get great blocks up front, makes a few people miss. Great starting field position for the LSU Tigers.
Leonard Fournette humbled after last week in that Heisman pose in the end zone. He's got something to prove, he feels, tonight as Anthony Jennings brings the Tigers up to the line for the first play from scrimmage. On first down, they're going to give it to Kenny Hilliard, the veteran of the LSU backfield, the leading rusher through 2 weeks. Not much there. Jennings, the 19-year-old quarterback, really solidified himself as LSU's starter the first 2 weeks, despite completing less than 50% of his passes.
Mistake-free football is what he's done. He's not turned the ball over. He's been a little inconsistent in his short passing game, but when they need big plays down the field, he's done an excellent job.
No gain on that first play, second down and 10. And it is a pro-style power run attack. We're going to see a lot of this from the Tigers as they try to get on track. Again, Hilliard, but again, nothing.
You're right. There's no secret in this running game for LSU. They're going to line up two tight ends, and they're going to take the football and try to run it down your throat. Be a big challenge for ULM's defensive line to control the line of scrimmage and really protect themselves against this fearsome running game.
There's Hunter Kissinger. Plays very well against the run for ULM. This is an aggressive 3-3-5 base defense for the Warhawks. 2 straight plays, no gain. Third down and 10 for the Tigers. Jennings wants to throw for the first time. Sees nothing downfield and steps up. And he's going to be stopped short of the first down at the 48-yard line. Jaron Johnson, the Missouri transfer from the nose tackle position, makes the stop. And there's a man down for ULM. It's Cody Robinson, the outside linebacker.
You see the defense is pass rushing the quarterback. They have a big zone right here. Being smart, getting it through the zone as a quarterback, not proving throwing the ball down the field and making mistakes, gets the yards that they give him, comes up just a little shy of the first down.
So we'll see what LSU decides to do here on fourth down as they attend to Robinson. Yeah, that's a good sign. They've got him up to his feet. But LSU, at some point, they're going to need to see some short intermediate passing from Anthony Jennings in third down situations just like the one we saw.
Yeah, and you talk about the start of the season. These are the type of games that you got to get that work in, and it can't be Durrell the entire time. It has to be the other wide receivers to step up and get their game ready so he can be ready for the big part of their SEC schedule.
Now Les Miles is going to send out the punting unit. Jamie Keene, second-year punter. The Australian sends it sky high. And Rashawn Caesar goes over his head, and it's dead at the 5. great coverage by LSU. A 46-yard punt by Keene, and ULM is looking at a long field on their first series.
Special teams is so important here at LSU. All the coaches kept talking about is outside of offensive, defensive, special teams. All the players play it. They rotate a lot of different players in. You'll see that today.
Here's Pete Thomas, grad student transfer from North Carolina State, who started his career at Colorado State. Signed with ULM in May, won the job in fall camp. First play is a run, and it's Tyler Kane, who redshirted last year. And the junior, it's nothing. So both teams running games, trying to get on track here early. The LSU defense has been outstanding. 19 straight possessions without allowing a point. Centarius Donald in the backfield to the right of Thomas. And the noise already a factor here in Death Valley. Play clock inside of 5. They just get it off. Busted play, and Thomas is done for a loss.
When you come into a hostile environment, you have to have a set offense ready to go. To call audibles in Death Valley, Clay, will be a big mistake. You got to line up, read the defense, have 1 or 2 plays. You see here, Pete Smith's not sure of himself. Not everybody's on the same page. They changed the play a few times at the line of scrimmage. LSU will take advantage of that every single time.
LSU is looking for people to step up on the inside. Christian Lockacher made that tackle. So now 3rd down and 11 for the Warhawks. Thomas sets, throws, knocked down, incomplete. And it'll be 4th down.
LSU's defense has been strong through first 2 games of the year. The 3rd down conversion rate's only 24% on their opponents. So 3rd down and long is not the ideal situation for ULM to be in.
We were talking with John Chavis, the defensive coordinator of LSU this week. He says, my defense has no deficiencies at any position. We are just a little inexperienced, but that's going to come. Manton, who also does the punting chores for the Warhawks from the end zone. Makes a nice roll for the Warhawks into LSU territory. A 50-yard punt. So that defense now 20 straight possessions without allowing a point. And the LSU offense, which is young but electric. Back on the field when we come back to Baton Rouge. LSU 2-0. They scored 21 unanswered to beat number 14 Wisconsin on the opening week, and then routed Sam Houston State last week 56-0. Now locking horns with in-state foe ULM. LSU went quietly on its opening series. Anthony Jennings under center on 1st down and 10. From the 46, nearly intercepted. And it lands incomplete. Justin Bacchus in on the coverage for ULM as LSU is looking to replace a lot this year. They lost their 3,000-yard passer, 2 1,000-yard receivers, and a 1,000-yard rusher. So far, though, so good offensively. Some of the young guys have really stepped up.
And he's challenged them. Les Miles has said, listen, we've lost those players, but we're looking for these young guys to step up. Our challenge and goal is clear. Win the SEC and fight for a national championship.
9 players from last year drafted the most of any college football team. 2nd straight year LSU has had 9 players taken. Jennings will give to Terrence McGee his first touch tonight. McGee can do a little bit of everything. Run, catch, even pass, but no gain on that play. Here are the three guys offensively who have done the most so far for the Tigers.
Yeah, Jennings, like we mentioned before, 0 interceptions. I think that's so important. They have a plethora of running backs, but it starts with Kenny Hilliard in the backfield. And when they want to go deep and they need electricity and liven this crowd up, they're going to throw the ball downfield to Traven Doral.
Freshmen and sophomores have scored 9 of LSU's 11 touchdowns this season. But so far, this offense lacks a little spark. Here they are on 3rd and 10. Jennings. And the comebacker to Diarse is incomplete. John Diarse, the Monroe native, should have had it, but he started upfield without the football.
2 real nice series right now by ULM. They've done a good job of stopping the run in the early downs.
There's a flag on the far side of the field. Our referee tonight is David Smith.
Offside, defense, number 34. 5-yard penalty. Replay, 3rd down.
That's Michael Johnson, the outside linebacker.
Big mistake there. You had him stopped. You did a great job, and now you hurt yourself because you're in the neutral zone and jump early. You can't make these small mistakes. And head coach Tom Berry is adamant about his team not making a lot of penalties and mistakes to hurt them. And now they give them another chance in this 3rd and 5 opportunity.
First time in plus territory for LSU tonight. McGee in the backfield again. I'm going to send him in motion. Jennings, quick throw, and that's incomplete. Trey Quinn with a drop. He has impressed early, especially as a blocker. They want his receiving to start to come around. And he should have hauled that one in. Again, it's 4th down.
Just a simple out route, and Jennings does a great job, puts it right in his hands. The young freshman has to come up with that football. Those plays right there is what we talked about, building the consistency at the quarterback position. You got to have that catch.
And Quinn's grandfather, Bobby Kiesler, the longtime coach at McNeese State and ULM, so this is a special night for him. Fair catch called for by Rashawn Caesar, and it's a 27-yard punt. ULM will have it after 22 when we come back. So far, LSU looking for something to happen positive on offense. Natural habitat, just a short walk here from Tiger Stadium. LSU going for its 400th win in the stadium here tonight. The stadium opened in 1924. ULM's got it just shy of the 22-yard line. Pete Thomas throws, and it's complete to Harley Ciano, the number 2 tight end for ULM. That's a gain of 5. LSU last week, Anthony, got out to a very fast start against Sam Houston State. That 94-yard pass play, a school record from Jennings to Doral. Tonight, 2 3-and-outs. Yeah,
I'll tell you, ULM's done a good job offensively keeping them disrupted. Now on their side of the ball, they have to do something on offense to move the football.
2nd and 5. Thomas rolling out, throws a strike. It's complete to Rashawn Caesar, but he can't bring it in. They're going to want to get Caesar the ball tonight. Only a couple of catches the first 2 weeks because of an Achilles injury. He's finally healthy.
They like to roll Pete Thomas out a lot. He's got a strong arm. Looked like it was a really nice catch. Looks like he gets his knee down and actually brings it in. Let's see here. And now you see the tip of the ball hits the ground. Nice effort. They still have a 3rd and short opportunity to try to convert.
The Colton Browning era is over at ULM. He was the great quarterback here the last 4 years, record setter. This is more of a traditional style offense now with Thomas, who takes a hit, and his pass is incomplete. Dwayne Thomas with great pressure on Thomas. And it'll be 4th down for ULM.
Great way to get the quarterback disrupted is to bring pressure. You see at the top of your screen, Thomas comes in, applies the hit. Might not be a sack, but those hits over time will pay off for this LSU defense.
They use Dwayne Thomas like they used the Honey Badger in that nickel and dime package. Comes off the edge, blitzes a lot. And he had to rush Thomas there and did. And the Warhawks have to punt for the 2nd time. Tre'Davious White, he is dangerous to the 40, 45, and out near midfield. He had a 30-yard punt return last week. It was pretty close, 25 on that bringback. And good field position again for LSU. They're trying to get on track. No score here in Baton Rouge. Back their own 45. This time they'll start at midfield. They've had 2 3-and-outs. Here are the impact players for LSU on offense. Hilliard and Durrell.
Starts with Kenny Hilliard, the big running back. He's their bruiser, downhill runner. We talked about Durrell. They want to get the ball down the field to him. Let's watch Mitch Lane. He's their roving safety. He's going to allow them to stick his nose wherever he wants in the box, come downhill. He's going to meet some of those running backs one-on-one a lot in this game.
Pitch it back to Fournette. Leonard Fournette will get to the 45, a gain of about 5. Fournette 92 yards on 13 carries last week and his first career touchdown. And again, they were talking about it on game day this morning. The Heisman pose. He apologized to his teammates for that. Shows you some humility that this guy has.
It's amazing they make seniors coming out of high school the size of him.
Yeah, you're right. 2nd and 5. Give it to him again. Tries to cut back. And he has stood up shy of the first down by a couple of yards. So bring up 3rd down as Johnson and Smith make the tackle. Here's the play right here that we're talking about. And there it is. And he got an earful from Les Miles when he got to the sideline. And he immediately knew he made a mistake, and he owned up to it.
He did. I'll tell you that. That just shows he's growing. He's excited. First touchdown. He's really proud of that. The young man's going to be a spectacular player, and he'll be in the running for the Heisman at some point.
LSU 0 for 3 on 3rd down, and Hilliard gets it this time. The first down of the game for either team. And it belongs to LSU just inside the 40-yard line of ULM with 7:48 to go here in the quarter.
Ground and pound. They want to run the football. They might get 1-2 yards a clip, but they will wear on this undersized defensive line, and the big plays will start to come.
Hilliard in the backfield behind the big fullback Connor Neighbors. And it will be Kenny Hilliard. And he's going to pick up a yard before Kissinger, the middle linebacker, makes the stop. You know, so much is made of Leonard Fournette, Anthony, but sometimes forget what a veteran backfield LSU has with Hilliard and McGee.
Yeah, Hilliard has done an excellent job. He's their leading rusher through 2 games. And McGee is their top returning rusher. Yeah. Really doesn't get a lot of touches, but does a lot of the dirty work in the backfield for this LSU offense.
And Hilliard really stood out in week 1 in that comeback win over Wisconsin. 93 of his 110 came in the 4th quarter, including the game-winning touchdown. 2nd down and 9, play action. Jennings standing in, throws downfield, it's caught. Caught at the 22 by guess who? Traven Durrell. He is the go-to guy. Again, all he does is catch touchdowns or first downs.
Yeah, it's just a one-man route. Everybody's inside blocking. They check with me, bring it to the pass, runs a great route. Nice throw and catch.
Gain of 15 on that play, and now a penalty flag.
False start on the offense. All 11 players were not set prior to the snap. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
Couldn't narrow it down to just one, so it was everybody.
That's the best thing when you go into the meeting tomorrow. No one's going to say, what me, what me? Everybody's going to be the culprit on that.
So the first penalty against LSU as Durrell will line up here in your foreground. He had only 7 catches last year playing behind Landry and Beckham. Still their top returning wide receiver. Another play action pass. Jennings, Cox still looking downfield, and now he's going to whip it out of bounds. That is why he won the starting job in part, because he protects the football. Instead of making a mistake, he throws it away.
Yeah, it's impressive. You see him here. It's a one-man route again. They're going to fake it. He's going to try to get the ball to Durrell. Had him for a second. Pulls it back in. He doesn't have it. He doesn't force anything. Gets it out of bounds. Listen, manage the football game. Again, Durrell makes a nice move. It's a post, corner post. The safety comes up. Mitch there. Mitch Lane does a good job of picking him up. Live to see another day. That's kind of the motto they've been teaching Jennings early in this season.
Jennings 1 for 5 so far. Just that first down completion to Doral. He'll try to throw again here on 2nd and 15. Does the same thing. Gets rid of it before something bad happens, like take a sack. But now they're staring at 3rd and 15.
Well, I'll credit ULM. They've done a good job on that play. Tried to run a screen pass on the backside. We have a penalty flag down.
A late flag here.
Might be calling intentional grounding.
Intentional grounding on the offense, number 10. Ball be placed at the spot of the foul. Blues lost it down. 3rd down.
So they mark it back to the 35-yard line. That's a loss of 7.
They're going to try to run a screen pass down here at the bottom of your screen to Hilliard. Now there is a receiver in the area, which would be Hilliard. So you see him right here. But he doesn't throw it directly at him, so they're saying that the fact that he threw it outside, trying to defer to getting a sack, they call him for a illegal pass.
3rd and 22. Jennings has time, nothing downfield now, throws on the run, wide open man, 1st down, Diarse. John Diarse, who had that drop on the opening series, atones for his mistake with a 1st down catch here.
That's the problem now for ULM on defense. They get a zone, he checks it to the right, he sees the opening, but he keeps his eyes down the field. I'll tell you what, for a sophomore, he's learning week to week on his play in this game.
They think he's the most improved receiver on the LSU roster. And gain of 23 puts it at the 12-yard line. LSU in the red zone for the first time. Here's McGee banging his way inside the 10-yard line to the 7. Cordero Smith, the safety, makes the stop after a gain of 5. And Terrence McGee, he's got that number 18 jersey voted on by teammates. That's the tradition started by quarterback Matt Mock back in 2004. That number 18 is a real honor here in Baton Rouge.
And they gave it to the right player. He's a true leader. You talk about a senior that was the go-to guy last year, doesn't get as many carries. It's been a great compliment to this backfield.
10th play of the drive. 2nd down and 5. They toss it back to McGee, and he's hammered at the line of scrimmage. It's going to be no gain as Ray Stovall, the outside linebacker, the veteran from Tulsa, Oklahoma, makes the tackle. Terrence McGee, as you said, coming off his best season last year, the number 2 rusher behind Jeremy Hill, who went on to the NFL.
How humble for a young man, thinking he's going to be the guy next year to come and take a step back this season and be a leader for some of these young running backs. It's a tribute to have him on the team. They love his leadership.
We send Hilliard out as a wide receiver on 3rd down and 5. Jennings crossing route to Quinn, and he stopped short of the 1st down. So it'll be 4th down now as Bacchus makes the tackle.
ULM done a great job. They've been matched up now one-on-one with these wide receivers. The biggest thing is, can you tackle them when they make the catch? So far, listen, 2 and out in the first 2 series. They're holding to a field goal. I'd say that's a lot of win right there for this ULM defense.
Les Miles decides to bring on Colby Delahousie, the field goal kicker. 2 for 2 on field goal attempts with a long of 47 this season against Wisconsin. He had a missed PAT last week. This is just a 22-yarder. And the former walk-on got it. LSU on the scoreboard first. But they were deep in the red zone and held to 3. Tigers with the early
performance. The big challenge now is his offense. Can they move the ball on this strong LSU defense? So far, they haven't had a lot of success early.
Trent Domingue has it teed up. He's been sharing kickoff duties with freshman Cameron Campbell. It'll be the sophomore's turn this time. He's got to re-tee it. Tyler Kane is back deep for ULM. LSU 2-0 all-time against the Warhawks, and they have outscored the Warhawks now 103-7. But so far, ULM has kept this LSU offense in check. The kick by Domingue, and it's going to be a touchback. Let's take a look at the impact players on this side of the ball.
ULM wants to get the ball to their running backs in Terrius Donald. He's the closest thing to an SEC quality player they have. Look for a heavy dose of him. And on defense, number 94, Hunter, the defensive end. Strong, good pass rusher. Might be one of the best they've had through the program. And Jalen Collins at the cornerback position. Through 2 games, when I watched the tape, he's the best defensive back on the football field.
A Chick-fil-A cow making a cameo. First play from scrimmage on this series for ULM. And it's Terrius Donald. An injury-plagued career for Donald. Good to see him healthy. He's a great story. The senior out of Columbia, Louisiana. 3 separate ACL injuries, but finally able to be on the field on a regular basis. He picks up 3. 21 straight possessions without allowing a point by this LSU defense. Second down and 7. Thomas to throw. Complete to the 30-yard line. Quickly tackled is Rashawn Caesar. Maybe a gain of a couple as Ronald Martin, senior and returning starter at strong safety, makes the tackle.
It'll be tough for this offense to get big explosive plays. They must be efficient. These 3rd down and 5s, 3rd down and 4s is really exactly what they want on offense. They'll spread the ball out in the empty formation on 3rd down and let 5 guys run routes and see if Pete Thomas can find the open receiver.
Here comes that crowd again on 3rd down and 5. Thomas, incomplete. Again, he was looking for Caesar. So it'll be 4th down as Warhawks offense has yet to get a first down.
He's got to step into that throw and really connect. Caesar was open. The pass rush of the defensive line. They only brought 4, but it was enough to force the quarterback to throw the ball out quickly, get that incompletion.
Just 9 total yards for the Warhawks so far. That running game is what they really need to get going. LSU's done a good job against that so far. This is the 3rd punt for Justin Manton. Tre'Davious White is back to return, backpedaling, slips away at the 13-yard line and dives ahead to the 15. Good coverage on that 54-yard punt by Justin Manton, who has done a good job pinning teams deep this season. Late stages of the first quarter. Back here in Baton Rouge, LSU going back to work on offense. Just 19 yards total rushing for the Tigers. And here's Kenny Hilliard. He'll get a few more. They've had a couple of 3-and-outs, have the Tigers. And then that last drive, 12 plays, 45 yards, and it resulted in a 22-yard field goal by Delahousie. That's the difference in the game right now. But certainly, offensively, it hasn't been impressive for the Tigers so far.
It hasn't, and they're going to try to continue to run the football. Les Miles isn't really concerned, but we think he wants to stay within his system, run the football, and make big plays in the passing game.
Hilliard again. Run that time, and it's going to be a first down for Hilliard as Stovall makes the tackle. That's Dalton Hilliard's nephew. Dalton rushed for over 4,000 yards during his LSU career 30 years ago. There's some similarities there, certainly physically.
No question about it. Big back.
We wind under a minute to go here in the quarter. Quick strike to the outside to Durrell. And he'll get across the 30. Cam Cameron, 2nd-year offensive coordinator for LSU, longtime friend of Les Miles. Came back to college football after 12 years in the NFL as an offensive coordinator, 1 year as the Dolphins head coach. His offense racked up nearly 6,000 yards last year, 2nd most in LSU history. Has to retool a little bit this year.
He does, but they love these young weapons that they have, and it's really going to start at the quarterback position for LSU this year.
Jennings hands off to Hilliard again. Now that battering ram is starting to assert itself as Mitch Lane and Stovall combine on the stop. And they give him the first down, and that's going to be the last play of quarter number 1. So LSU starting to move the football on this series. Fairly quiet first 15 minutes. 3-0 LSU here at home. A little bit. This is the 4th LSU series. They controlled the football in that first quarter. Time of possession 10:42 advantage LSU. However, just the 3 points to show for it. First down and 10 from their own 36. Jennings out to Leonard Fournette. First down across midfield and to the 43-yard line of Louisiana Monroe. That's a gain of 20 for the true freshman out of New Orleans. And there's a penalty marker on the field. They're going to pick up that flag. No penalty.
And that's some of the diversity that the young freshman brings to the table. He's not just a premier running back. He can run out of the backfield. ULM has to do a better job of locating that swing pass from the running back position.
Here comes Trey Quinn. He's out at the 36-yard line. Number 3 wide receiver in the nation, according to ESPN last year. They want to start working other guys into the offense from that receiving position. We've seen a ton of Trayvon Durrell the first couple of weeks. LSU's afraid maybe he's becoming too much of a focal point of the offense. They want to work in some other guys, including Quinn.
Yeah, Quinn, you'll see 15 Dupree. All of those guys will get reps.
And Hilliard bangs ahead for the first down.
Again, you're starting to see the LSU offense. 5 yards here, 6 yards here, 4 yards here. This is how they wear on you. And like I said earlier, this ULM defensive line can't take this pounding for 4 quarters. So they're going to have to mix it up and try to get off the field because this LSU line will pound all day.
Play action. Jennings heaves it toward the end zone for Durrell, and it's knocked down. Well covered by Trey Caldwell, the corner. First-year starter at that position, but he played it like a veteran, and it brings up second down.
This was great coverage. You see Durrell just runs a streak route. Find the football as a defensive back. The only reason why he was successful there, because right here, watch his head. Perfect. Perfect technique, well done, knocks the ball down. That's what they're looking for on this defensive front.
Todd Berry says this is the best ULM defense he has had since he's been with the Warhawks. And this is year number 5. Penalty marker down. There goes Durrell along the sideline. He's going to be out at the 21-yard line, but there is a penalty marker at the 31.
Again, it's going to be defensive encroachment on the offsides on their side. Another mistake by the defense. You cannot do this to yourself. Coach Barry will be disappointed with this call. See if it's better to take the 5 yards or take that play there on offense.
Offside. Defense. Number 45. Penalty is declined. Third down.
Well, this ULM defense dominated Wake Forest in week 1, allowed just 94 yards total offense. But last week they gave up 442 to Idaho. Still, Todd Berry likes this defense, but you can't beat yourself, especially when you're playing in Death Valley. First down, and now getting away is Darrell Williams. Touchdown, Tigers. A 22-yard touchdown run for the true freshman.
They're so deep at the running back position. I mean, another true freshman comes into the football game, and this is going to be basically double team powers, and you just got to wrap the player up. Bounces off him. He's got a wide body, 230 pounds. If you're going to take the big man down, you got to take his legs out and wrap him up. Great run by the true freshman Williams.
And Delahousie on for the extra point. And it's 10-0 LSU. Darrell Williams, 3-star recruit in that 2014 class, which was highly celebrated. Got a touchdown last week. He's got a touchdown here tonight. It's the team in the country, the 84th straight week during the AP Top 25. Only Alabama has a longer current streak, and they've opened up a 10-0 lead, a 10-play, 85-yard drive, capped by Darrell Williams' 22-yard touchdown run. That's the longest play tonight for the LSU offense. Domingue to send it deep. Tyler Kane standing in the end zone to return. And it'll be another touchback as we go down to Don Davenport.
Well, Clay, Coach Todd Berry told us that Pete Thomas is a big relationship guy. He established that with his teammates the minute he got there in the spring, and he's been an unbelievable leader, and you really see that over here on the sidelines. You can see the frustration in this offense, but Satarius Donald and Pete Thomas have been pulling the guys together over here. They're talking adjustments. They're hoping to really get things going.
Yeah, they had 534 yards of total offense last week against Idaho. It's not like this offense can't get it going. And Pete Thomas, the grad student, takes the snap and gives off to Donald. Donald sneaks away across the 30-yard line. A good run on first down, a gain of 5. But Pete Thomas signed in May with the team. And the first couple of weeks, he's engineered game-winning fourth-quarter drives.
Yeah, he has. He's done a really good job for them. And we call him the NFL a journeyman. He's kind of been like that in the college scene.
Play action. He's pressured, gets away, and throws it away to a Jalen Holley who wasn't ready for that quick pass. 3rd down and 5. They have a nice screen game. They haven't been able to get that going.
Yeah, you know, they do. They have a lot of different things, crossing routes they like to do. But right now, the most staggering stat is they don't have a first down in this football game, Clay. They got to get something going. They're getting in 3rd and short, which is where they want to be. Pete Smith's got to stand in the pocket and deliver a pass so they can move the chains.
Over 3 on 3rd down tonight. Thomas looking to his left, now comes across the middle, and it's complete to the tight end, Harley Ciano. Gain of 3, but short of the first down. It'll be 4th down and 2, and the punting unit will come out again as Dwayne Thomas was disruptive again. They really like number 13, the sophomore out of New Orleans.
Yeah, they really do, and they brought full pressure on that play. Pete Thomas just rolled out, had to give it to the tight end who was sneaking out. They just couldn't get the first down, and again, another 3 and out, no first downs for this ULM offense.
4th 3 and out tonight as Tre'Davious White stands at the LSU 20. High snap. Manton goes up to get it. And a great job rolling this one inside the 20. Justin Manton. You can see why he's up for the Ray Guy Award. He is a talent. 49-yard punt. And Les Miles and the Tigers have the lead by 10.
To you guys.
All right, you know, if South Carolina wins that game tonight, I don't know who comes out as the champion of the SEC East. Everybody would be in the mix at this point.
I'm not surprised they're fighting as hard as they are. They have a very good team, and they're well coached. They came out early in this season, just had not played well the way they wanted to.
There's Terrence McGee on first down, still on his feet. Out over the 25, just shy of the 26-yard line. LSU leading 10-0 here with 11 and a half to go before halftime. It's an 8-yard run for McGee. Should mention that center Elliott Porter is back for the Tigers. That's big. Porter had to serve a 2-game team suspension. Got paid for some work that he didn't do in a summer job. It was a thing that was caught by the team. They self-reported. Now he's back, stumbling away from center is Jennings, and down he goes.
Those lines get high sometimes on those hash marks. You got to watch them.
It's a loss of 2.
Watch that head. Oh, he gets his foot stepped on by Porter.
I think it was Porter.
Welcome back, Mr. Porter.
Porter, the senior out of Wagaman, Louisiana, 6'4", 297. This offensive line, with the exception of Hoko Fanaika, a lot of experience up front. Fanaika is the right guard. They got a very talented left side in Lyle Collins and Vidal Alexander. And now Jennings in trouble, and he's going to be swarmed under. Now that is the first sack for ULM, which now has 11 on the season. They came into the game third in the nation in sacks.
Their defensive line, they only bring 3, but they bring 3 more defensive linebackers and safeties off the edge. They try to penetrate and hit them gaps. They get another sack, like you said. They only had 16 last year, already 11 this early in the season.
Michael Johnson credited with that sack as Jamie Keene comes out. This will be punt number 3 for the Tigers tonight here in the first half. And Rashawn Caesar is back at his own 35-yard line. Good punt by Keene. Caesar from the 22. Drilled down at about the 28-yard line, and there's a marker down. 59-yard punt by Keene. See what David Smith finds out here from the back judge.
Personal foul, face mask on the kicking team. Number 29, 15-yard penalty, first down.
Ricky Jefferson of LSU with that penalty. 9:28 to go here in the first half. LSU won the Broyles Award as the nation's top assistant coach in 2011. This guy is a genius when it comes to scheming defense.
Yeah, what a great man. I'll tell you, he's done an excellent job here, and it really is built off defensive ends and cornerbacks, and he's got a few of them on this football team.
And as usual, they have a lot of speed, especially at those positions. Well, no first down so far for the Warhawks tonight. 1st and 10. They hand it off to Tyler Kane. He'll get to the 45. This is the best starting field position of the night for ULM. DJ Welter, the middle linebacker, made the tackle, but there's Jermarier Roscoe, number 59, second-year starter at defensive end. Senior, has a ton of speed. He's going to have a big year, they think.
Yeah, they love him, and Hunter on the other side really set the edge for this defense with the pass rush and the discipline to make plays in the running game.
2nd down and 8 for the Warhawks. Play fake. Pete Thomas off his back foot, should have been caught, and it's dropped by Kane. 3rd down and 8. And this offense is really struggling against this defense. There's Deion Jones. He had 5 tackles and a fumble recovery last week. He's a junior out of New Orleans with that weak side linebacker position. Everywhere you look on this LSU defense, there are guys with just raw talent.
I think the biggest thing I've learned from talking to the coaches is a lot of their favorite players are a lot of backups. I mean, they have so much depth, so much team speed. They get excited about the players they have on the field now, but they get really excited about the next level of players that come into the game.
And now Pete Thomas is confused. Play clock running out. And they call a timeout.
ULM, their first charge timeout of the first half.
23 straight possessions without a point being allowed by this LSU defense as they have really hit a stride. That goes back to Wisconsin's first possession of the second half in the season opener.
And as we've seen a lot of these SEC games, a lot of high-scoring affairs. I'll tell you what, now this LSU defense has a chance to be special. The coaching staff believes it, and when they get into their schedule and play those bigger games, this is going to be big for them to roll it into their schedule.
Yeah, there's some critics that are probably hearing us talk about the LSU defense right now, and they're saying, well, wait a second, what about the run defense, especially against Wisconsin? There were some big plays by the Badgers in the run game, but John Chavis says, you know, it's just 1 or 2 plays. You take those away, and I like the way my defense played in week 1.
They only gave up 318 total yards. I mean, we're not talking about giving up 500. Plus, they held them to 50 yards passing, which is really impressive when you talk about the teams in this conference and what they're trying to do.
Let's see if the Tigers can get off the field here on 3rd down. With a little help from their friends.
Want to see Pete Thomas deliver a football and set his feet on this play.
He sets his feet and throws a strike to Caesar. First down of the night for the Warhawks. To the 45 of LSU.
See here, he gets the football, sets his feet, wide open receiver. They bring pressure off of Caesar. He sees it quick, delivers a catchable football. That's what they need to do to move the ball. Now they're in to LSU's side of the field.
Caesar almost 1,000 yards receiving last year, but they go back to the ground on the next play, and it's Kane wrapped up in the backfield and thrown down. There's Tashawn Bauer, the backup to Roscoe, and Deion Jones again. It's going to be a loss on the play of a couple yards, second down and 12.
And that's one thing you can't do if you're ULM on first and second down is lose football yards. So second and 12 is an ideal situation for this LSU defense. You see man-to-man across the board, forcing them to make a play.
See if LSU dials up the pressure. They do. They bring 5, and Thomas got rid of it in time, but it's incomplete. Alec Osborne, the team's starting tight end, can't haul it in, so it'll be third down and 12 as ULM in LSU territory for the first time tonight. But boy, great pressure on Thomas.
Yeah, they bring pressure, get to the quarterback again. Another hit, it will take its toll, and that's what this defense does. Play after play, they try to take their shots so they can wear down this quarterback and have them thinking about it.
Thomas not getting any help from his receivers. That's the third time a ball's been dropped by the Warhawks. Third and 12, Thomas underneath and down at the 45-yard line is Osborne. So well short of the first down. Bring up fourth down and 10, and they will try to pin LSU deep again as Manton and the punting unit come back on.
Yeah, defensive line did a great job there pressuring the quarterback. Pete Thomas is kind of popping his feet a little bit, worrying about that pass rush. He has to see what they're bringing in the defensive end, connect with the pass. Hasn't been able to do that consistently tonight.
Fair catch called for by White. He fields it about the 11-yard line. Well, the Warhawks do get a first down for the first time tonight. It's been all LSU's defense. It's 10-0 Tigers.
In the SEC East, and a lot of teams on upset alert today. We'll see you guys in a few minutes.
All right, Brendan, looking forward to it. We have not seen big plays from this LSU offense tonight, maybe on this series. But coming into the night, 4 of the 5 touchdown passes have gone for 28 yards or more. They've had just 2 plays of 20 yards or more. 1 pass, 1 run. Start this series from the 11-yard line. It's Leonard Fournette. High stepping to the 20 and close to a first down before the Hawk backer, Mitch Lane, runs him out.
The reason why they captured the edge. Look at number 85, the big tight end, smashes defender down to the ground. 285 pounds, number 85, and you give some open seas to Fournette. He's going to hit him every time and make big plays.
The #1 recruit in the nation last year, according to ESPN, Leonard Fournette. Louisiana's Gatorade Player of the Year 2 years in a row. And Darrell Williams, who had that touchdown earlier tonight, takes that handoff. He'll move the chains. Boy, Fournette, Williams, both true freshmen, learning behind Hilliard and McGee, both seniors. You know, if you can design it, that's the way you want it. The veterans bringing up the younger guys.
Get 1 year, those 2 guys will graduate. The young man comes in next year, and maybe that Heisman pose will be more of an opportunity for him to get it heading into next season.
Fournette out of St. Augustine High School in New Orleans. They fake the handoff to him. Jennings slips away once, spins away twice, and now look at him go. Anthony Jennings, first down and more. What an elusive run. A gain of 22 and a first down for the Tigers.
That's unfortunate for the Warhawks, but look at this, the ability to make people miss. He's got 3 guys coming right at him on defense, able to get away, make a big play with his legs. He's very dangerous, versatile football player. Anytime you can get a dual threat quarterback that doesn't force a football in, doesn't make those mistakes, have been key for his success early in the season.
3-0 is LSU's starter coming into the night. Going back to last year's bowl win over Iowa. Deep downfield, looking for the big strike to Trey Quinn. He overshot it. Trey Caldwell, the cornerback, in the coverage.
Haven't been as efficient, like you said, taking their shots. They get that big run the play before. They try to get Trey Quinn the ball in a little quick post. Just slightly overthrows it, and that's where he's been his most efficient, is those long passes at the quarterback position.
Now Fournette again trying to find room on that left side, and he spun down at the line of scrimmage. He might get a half yard before Joey Godney, the third-year starter at defensive end, makes the tackle. His helmet came off, so he has to come off. Here's Leonard Fournette at St. Augustine High School, just down Highway 10 in New Orleans. Again, the #1 overall player according to ESPN last spring.
That's a big boy running the football his senior year of high school. He looks like a man among boys. I'll tell you what a player he's going to be. Showing those signs of what he can bring to the table. It's going to be an exciting career for that young man.
Les Miles was very defensive about his young running back this week. As Jennings coming back, Quinn can't make the catch. They almost made that work for a first down. As it is, it's 4th down, and they'll have to punt. But Les Miles was very, very defensive about Leonard Fournette. He said he thought that maybe the media was a little hard on him this week. He says he's very humble. Nobody works harder than Leonard Fournette, and there is no ceiling for the young man.
Yeah, look, listen, the young man, he doesn't want to take away from the natural talents that he has. He's a great runner, can catch the football out of the backfield. I mean, he is going to be an instant showstopper here at LSU. So, you don't want to hinder his confidence at all. But look, he understood what he did. He made the conversation, said that he made the mistake.
Wow, great kick coverage by LSU, a 51-yard punt. And Reed Ferguson, the snapper, gets down for the tackle. And ULM will have it at the 5. Let's go down to Don Davenport.
Hey, I want to point out, you guys are talking about that group of running backs. Well, they're so close. Coach Miles was telling us that when the coaching staff asked the room about giving Leonard Fournette the first carry last week, it was actually Terrence and Kinney who said, absolutely, Coach, go for it. We helped to raise this kid. What we do together.
To me, those are signs of great leadership. Guys that will take a step back for the better of the team. And you're seeing the success of this team early because of it.
We've already seen that this team has high character. How about the comeback win over Wisconsin week 1? It showed that this young team already demonstrates great character. Long field for the Warhawks. Thomas to Caesar. And the catch made at the 10-yard line, a gain of 5. As Jalen Mills, the free safety, makes the tackle. He moved from corner to free safety this year. He has been in the news a lot, charged with that misdemeanor for simple battery against a woman at his apartment in May. He will be arraigned in mid-October. He plans to plead not guilty. 2nd down and 5. Donald lunges close to the first down. Great effort after the catch. White is credited with the stop. We'll see where they spot this. They are going to give ULM a first down, and those have been hard to come by tonight. I'll tell you, when this crowd amps up, like they always do, it's even louder now with that south end zone closed in. They've added about 10,000 seats to the south end zone upper deck. That holds more of the sound in this place, like LSU needed any help with that before.
Yeah, and you know what? ULM's back is to that new part of the stadium right now, so it's going to be tough for them to get out the back of this side of the field.
Centarius Donald on those reconstructed knees churns ahead for a couple more. To bring down 2nd and 8 as Jermarie Roscoe makes the tackle.
I mean, could you imagine 3 ACL surgeries and coming back your senior year, your final season, and finally being healthy to go? I mean, I give a lot of credit to this young man. And look at him now. He's a big boy. He looks like he can, they'd say now, he's one of the closest players they have to an SEC-type player.
He's had back-to-back 100-yard games. He can catch, too, but he doesn't here. Incomplete, 3rd down.
Pete Thomas has thrown a couple balls now to his backs and his wide receivers in that screen swing area. A little hard. He's got to take a little bit off that ball. He's got a big arm. Got to have a little bit of both sides. Be able to take some off when you need it on the short passes, and when you got to fire it in, be able to go both ways with it.
Things haven't come easy for this ULM team tonight, especially offensively. This is the first of 3 games against the SEC this year. They're also at Kentucky and at Texas A&M this year. Thomas on 3rd down and 8. Incomplete. Ronald Martin from White Castle, Louisiana. Well covered. That pass intended for Rashawn Caesar.
It's all about breaking as a safety. Watch the top of your screen. See how Martin, as soon as he sees that receiver come out, is breaking, his head turns in. He's running full speed to the football. Perfect timing right there when the ball comes to the offensive player. Well played by that young man.
24 straight possessions for this LSU defense now without allowing a point. As Manton kicks it away. Right into the arms of White. 45-yard punt by Justin Manton. And again, good field position for LSU. Get your NFL Sunday started on ESPN at 10 a.m. It's Sunday NFL Countdown presented by Snickers. Boomer and the gang take you right up to kickoff. And before you set your lineups, catch our experts on Fantasy Football Now, presented by Papa John's at 11 a.m. on ESPN2. Both available on Watch ESPN. How's your fantasy team doing this?
1-0 through week 1. Yep, I get on Twitter and I go against random people and I tell them, listen, take on the pro here, and they do. And 1-0, Clay, first week.
Congratulations.
It'll be 2-0 after this week.
I'm sure it will. Well, you're really dialed in, not only the college game, but the NFL, too. I don't know how you keep it all straight. I give you credit. This is out to the 45-yard line. A pass to Durrell. And that's a gain of 5 as Caldwell makes a tackle. We wind under 2 minutes to go here in the first half.
I will give credit to ULM's defense, okay? They haven't given up a big play, and they've wrapped up and made the tackles. Except that one big run that Jennings had, they've done a good job so far against this LSU offense. 8
defensive starters back. A lot of experience on that ULM defense under coordinator Troy Reifert. Complete to Diar's to the 40 of ULM. John Diar, 6 foot 210, another big-bodied receiver who gets better every game. That's a gain of 16.
Well done, nice throw, nice catch. ULM's defense now got a shot on Jennings there, got up a little slow. So just like LSU's defense is taking shots on Pete Thomas, ULM's doing the same thing. Let's see, keep an eye on that pass rush by this experienced ULM team.
You know, this offensive unit tonight hasn't been outstanding. If they could get one in the end zone here before half, that would really be a lift before halftime. Jennings throws out the run to Kenny Hilliard, coming back toward the football, makes the catch. Ray Stovall brings him down at the 37. It'll be 2nd down and about 7. And now we've got a timeout called by LSU. Their first charge timeout.
These are the situations I want to see this young man be and step up and be a quarterback from the pocket. 50 seconds left. You have an opportunity now with several timeouts to put some passes in the middle of the field, complete them, and potentially get a touchdown instead of a field goal. Let's see how they'll treat this series with his arm. Will they take those chances, or will they let him just manage it and get them in field goal position?
Anthony Jennings overcame a poor first half to lead that comeback win over Wisconsin. Was sharp against Sam Houston State before giving way to that guy, Brandon Harris, for most of the second half last week. Harris battled hard for that #1 job in camp, but Les Miles says Harris, it's going to take some time with him, and for now they're more comfortable with Anthony Jennings.
Yeah, it is going to take some time. He's only 188 pounds. Maybe get a little more strength and muscle on his frame, but he's a special quarterback also. He'll be a fine player in the future for this team.
True freshman out of Bossier City, Louisiana. 2nd and 7. Jennings running again, throws it downfield, and it's intercepted, but a penalty flag is down. Lane came up with the football on the interception, but we'll see if it holds up, because there was contact in the secondary.
Tell you what, if they call this on ULM, LSU's very fortunate. A lot of defenders around that throw right there by Jennings.
There is no foul for defensive pass interference. Their feet were tangled.
Interception, ULM. That is 29 straight games that the Warhawks defense has forced a turnover. That is second only to Missouri in the entire country.
Big play, and anytime you get Jennings out of the pocket, he's been smart through 2 games. Right here, he kind of throws across his body with pressure in his face. Receiver fall downs, but here it is, guys. 4 defenders are around the ball. See the pressure up front? Again, he takes another shot. Both quarterbacks are taking shots by both of these defenses. First big mistake by Jennings this season.
Now, the first interception he has thrown. And it's the first turnover of the night for either team. So now Louisiana-Monroe has it with 42 seconds to work with and 2 timeouts. Maybe Pete Thomas can get something going here. Maybe they can get into field goal range before halftime.
You're down 10-0. Take the ball in at half. Be smart about this. Try to get everything back together on offense at the halftime and see if you can put something together and make a run in the second half.
And I think they're going to heed your advice as they give it to Centarius Donald. He'll get 3.
I think if you ask Coach Todd Berry if he had an opportunity to choose right now to be only down 10 points and go into halftime, he probably would take that with his team. Defense has done a good job. Offense has to pick it up. Let's see what those changes will be in the next half of this game.
Todd Berry, the former head coach at Illinois State and at Army. He had ULM bowl eligible the last couple of years. Got him to a bowl game 2 seasons ago. His team is down just 10 to the number 10 team in the country on their turf.
You're right, they are down just 10, but their offense has not done anything. I give huge credit to this LSU defense. They're as advertised so far early in the season. They've done an excellent job. Let's see what those changes are and see if they can do anything against this young, fast LSU D.
This is a sluggish LSU offense, squandered good field position at times, but that LSU defense, outstanding. Just 44 total yards for ULM's offense in that half. Let's go down to Don.
Well, Coach Miles, your defense now 24 straight possessions without giving up a point. How were you able to get so much pressure on ULM?
Well, I think our defense is just, they're playing hard. They're taking the line of scrimmage away from the opponent, and they're in the backfield on the pass. So we're playing very dominant football on defense right now.
On the other side of the ball, not the offensive production you are used to seeing out of this team. From an execution standpoint, what do you want to see change?
Well, I think the plays are there. We just got to execute. Throw the football better, give us some protection. We roll out of the pocket in the last one. He needs to throw that one away and not just put it in the field. But again, this second half and up 10, we just need to execute.
Thank you, Coach. Thanks. Clay.
Anthony Jennings, 9 of 16, 97 yards and an interception. But LSU leads it 10-0 at the half. Now we go to the studio for the college football halftime report. Brendan, Charles, and Jason. The short field 3 times, came away with just 3 points. However, the defense, they forced 6 punts in that first half.
It was an awesome display. I mean, they've dominated ULM, held them to 44 yards. Yeah. And unless ULM comes out on offense and tries to get something going, I don't see anything changing. It's only a 10-point game, so they're in it. But right now, as LSU is going to have to continue to play better on offense and get some type of continuity going in the second half.
Is LSU being a little conservative offensively?
Well, I think they always build off their big plays on the running game. They've been able to run the ball well, but ULM's gotten pressure on their quarterback too, so that's the biggest thing right now. You got to block them up, take advantage of those opportunities, and try to make a big play in the passing game. The one interception obviously doesn't help them when they're moving into scoring position, but let's see what both of these teams offensively can do coming out of the half.
ULM will start with the football, as Trent Domingue will kick it deep. Tyler Kane in the end zone. 202 yards of total offense for LSU in that first half, and as you mentioned, Anthony, just 44 for the Warhawks. This is returnable from the 3. Kane out of West Monroe, Louisiana, still on his feet after a hit at the 18-yard line. Only brought down at the 20. That's a 17-yard return. There is a penalty marker down on the field. And David Smith, head of our officiating crew tonight.
During the return, illegal block below the waist, number 84 on the receiving team. Penalty is half the distance to the goal. First down.
Let's go down to Don Davenport.
This is our half. That is what ULM coach Todd Berry delivered to his team there at halftime. He said field position has really killed them. They haven't been able to open up their offense, and he said it's something they have to do against an LSU team like this. They're hoping to change that. But guys, you know, he also pointed out, he said, it's 10 points. We got them right where we want them. This team knows how to win games late.
Now, the program is largely funded by the payouts from these games. They've got the lowest budget in the FBS. If they could somehow come back and stun LSU, it would be a double sting to the Tigers as they have to pay ULM for this game as Centarius Donald picks up 4.
They're going to have to earn every single play, every single yard. LSU's not going to give up the big play against this offense, so it's going to have to be a 15-play, 7-minute drive for this team to go all the way down the field and try to punch it in for a score.
Pete Thomas started at North Carolina State, then transferred here to ULM. With the run game again, Centarius Donald straight ahead, maybe a yard. It's going to be 3rd and about 5. Pete Thomas, numbers from the first half, just 35 yards on 8 of 17. And 21 starts in 2010 and 11 for Colorado State before going to North Carolina State. He's been in environments like this before, but this offense is struggling. He throws on 3rd and 5, complete to Rashawn Caesar for the first down. Wayne Thomas in on the coverage, but just the second time that ULM has converted on 3rd down tonight.
Always tough for a quarterback to roll to his left. I'll tell you what, Caesar quietly has a few catches in this game. He looks like a guy that they're going to try to lean on in the passing game in the second half.
Thomas threw 9 interceptions last year, dropped on the depth chart behind former Florida Gator Jacoby Brissett. Part of the reason he transferred away from NC State. The give to Donald. Bounces off a tackle. And a good strong run to the 31-yard line. A marker down on the field as Tre'Davious White makes the tackle.
They're going to get the wide receiver, Jackson, number 23, for a hold here on the outside. That's unfortunate. Coach talked about how they aren't penalized a lot on offense or defense. They've been hurting themselves today.
Illegal block in the back, number 23 on the offense. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Replay, first down.
Kenzie Jackson, the senior. He has not been involved in the offense at all here tonight after back-to-back big weeks. And there you can see the penalty, the block in the back.
Actually assisted the tackle there, pushing the player. Just let him go. You know, you get a nice little gain there. Now you shoot yourself in the foot. 1st and 16 is not where this team needs to be on offense.
Among the least penalized teams in the Sun Belt Conference the last few years. They're staring at a 1st down and 16 to go. Donald pick up a couple. Well, they wanted to get him 20 touches tonight, and he's going to get them because he actually is already at 20. That was 20, but they haven't been able to get anything going with him.
Yeah, and I'll be quite honest with you, they're not going to take any real shots till they get to the 45, 50-yard line. So until they get there, they can't take those chances. You take a shot now, you get a turnover, LSU gets a short field. That's not how they want this ball game to go.
Play fake to Donald, 2nd and 14. Thomas in trouble, and down he goes. Sacked at the 17-yard line by Roscoe. Jermarie Roscoe had a sack last week. He gives LSU its 1st sack tonight.
Gets great push. Pete Thompson, tight end on Roscoe is not a great idea. And you as a quarterback have to understand that. Instead of taking that sack, if you don't have the wide receiver get the ball, throw it away out of bounds, live to see another day. Now you put yourself in almost a 3rd and forever. Tough plays here for an offensive coordinator play for ULM.
ULM came into the game an unimpressive 34% on 3rd down. It has been a miserable situation for them tonight on 3rd down. And Donald is dropped behind the line of scrimmage again. Christian Lockitcher, who they need a big year from at defensive tackle, makes the hit. And here comes the punting unit again for the Warhawks.
Not the series on offense ULM wanted to start this game out on. Early mistakes, penalties, you take a sack, just kind of falling in the hands of what LSU defense wants you to do.
7th punt tonight for Manton. Tre'Davious White steps up to field it at the 44 and then is immediately hit. And he'll dive down at the 45-yard line. 39-yard punt that time as Lewis makes the tackle for ULM. 10-0 LSU, 10-11 to go here in the 3rd. Anthony Jennings, the quarterback for the Tigers, he got roughed up a little bit at times by this Warhawks defense.
Well, we've given a lot of credit to LSU's D. Let's give some credit to ULM. Not getting a sack or doing a lot of different things, but they are taking them hits to the quarterback position. And again, that will wear on the quarterback and make him think about that when he's in the pocket to throw that football.
Hilliard gets the first play of the 2nd half for LSU. It's a 7-yard run. You know, we saw LSU kind of be a slow starter in week 1 against Wisconsin as they hustle up over the ball. And it's Hilliard with a nice run, the stiff arm inside the 40 of ULM. As Bacchus makes the tackle, there is a flag down. Mark him down at the 38-yard line. Quite a few flags here to start the 2nd half.
Well, you see LSU, they want to go a little faster, a little more up-tempo, and I think they just hurt themselves on a holding call, so both teams.
Personal foul, hands to the face on the offense, number 55. 15-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
That's again Elliott Porter just off suspension.
Yeah, hands to the face happens often. Your hands slip up, you get into that battle, especially at the center position. But, you know, 15 yards is 15 yards. You see here Porter, he's dry blocking. Right there, he gets his hand up into the face mask. Unfortunately, that's a 15-yard unnecessary roughness. He's grabbing it. You got to let it go at least. Have that awareness as an offensive player. But that's a huge break for this ULM defense. That's
a difference of 17 yards as they spot it back to the 45-yard line of LSU. Jennings wants to throw, has Durrell at the 25. Traven Durrell, another big reception. The chemistry between Jennings and Durrell is evident.
Yeah, quarterback for ULM gets out of position here. Durrell he could have basically ran right down the sideline. They could have thrown it a little deeper. Just a miscommunication on defense. Get a big play in the passing game for LSU.
That was the biggest play of the game tonight. 32 yards on that hookup as McGee takes it ahead for a few yards. I was going to say before that we saw LSU come back from 21 against Wisconsin to win in week 1. Maybe we'll see the same thing here tonight against ULM. Not a lot going in the first half, but maybe these gears will start to hum a little bit here in the second half. As a man is down, it looks like Gerald Hawkins, the right tackle for LSU, after that McGee run again. Hawkins started 14 games at right tackle last year as a true freshman. One at left tackle, very athletic. 6'6", 309-pound sophomore out of Baldwin, Louisiana.
You see him right here at the bottom of your screen. His ankles right here is going to get tied up with the running back. So he gets rolled up on by the defender. It's always scary in the trenches, the defensive lineman, offensive lineman. It's good to see the young man get up. He doesn't want any help too. They're the toughest guys on the field. I tell you, you gotta love these guys.
You were part of the line, so to speak, as a tight end, so you have an affinity for those guys.
I did become a little bit of a blocker towards the end of my career. Got me a couple extra years, Clay.
Yeah.
What can I say?
And Hawkins did put pretty good pressure on that foot as he came off the field. 3rd down and 5 for LSU. They're in the red zone.
And as Hawkins goes out, Washington, who's a senior, comes in at right tackle to fill the void.
Jennings, quick strike to the 18-yard line to Quinn. Quinn, 1st down inside the 10, brought down by Malcolm Edmond, the nose tackle, but it's a gain of 10. 1st down and goal to go for the Bayou Bengals. He's a good-looking receiver out of Lake Charles.
Yeah, they tried to run a tunnel screen there. Wasn't there in the inside, so he just pops it outside. ULM making some substitution changes. Jennings can get himself a play here. They can set the football. Got to give him time, though, to set on defense.
Yeah, the official was over the ball, holding Jennings from snapping. Now Hilliard out of a tackle inside the 5, lunges for the pylon, and he is going to be marked down at the 1. Mitch Lane knocked him out, and it's going to bring up 2nd down and goal.
Listen, there's guys on the field that don't get a lot of public. Look, the fullback's block right here. Neighbors grinding his guy, 43 off 43. Not a lot of work there for Hilliard. He's just got to follow the big man through the hole. Excellent block by the fullback Neighbors.
And now they bring in Fournette and Williams, the 2 freshmen, on 2nd down and goal. On Travis Dixon in motion. They go to Williams, and he is in for the 2nd time tonight. And his 3rd touchdown in 2 weeks.
Anytime you got 460 pounds of running backs in the backfield, it's basically pick and choose who you want to get in. And he's met at the goal line, but just too much, gets the ball over the line for the score. You'll see here. Tough angle there.
It gives you an idea right there of the kind of back that is recruited to LSU. Yes. There was Darrell Williams, who's a tailback, running as a fullback.
And we saw Hilliard line up in the fullback last week, so they can interchange a lot of these players. They do so many different things, but they really do spread the wealth around at the running back position.
Colby Delahousie. His point after is good. It's 17-0 LSU as they take it down the field on the opening series of the 2nd half and score. Down run, and video of the touchdown is now posted on the SportsCenter app, available on your mobile devices and tablets whenever you need it. So the opening series for LSU results in a touchdown. I'm sure that LSU feels little bit better about itself after a sluggish first half on offense.
I'll be quite honest, they've been dominating this game. Might not be the yards or the score that the fans want to see, but right now ULM can't really do anything on offense. And I said it earlier, they're not really going to take a chance until they get to the 45, 50-yard line. But this might be a series where they try to go deep, maybe early, down the sideline, get it to maybe Caesar, try to make a big play somewhere on offense.
Cameron Gamble kicking off for the first time tonight for LSU. And the return out to the 28-yard line. Celebrating its 10th year sponsoring the Good Hands Field Goal Nets, Allstate making contributions to participating universities' general scholarship funds for each field goal and extra point kick. Allstate has contributed more than $3.4 million in scholarship money. LSU is coming off its first shutout since 2010 when they shut out Sam Houston State last week. And Thomas is incomplete, intended for Hawley that time, second down. And prior to the Sam Houston State shutout, the team that LSU last shut out, ULM. It was a 51-0 final. There is a good chance that LSU pitches a shutout here tonight.
Yeah, it's very possible. ULM's playing a great game on defense, but offensively they've been stagnant. Again, they tried to take a chance there, couldn't connect. It's been tough for this offense so far tonight.
Under 7 to go here, third quarter. Thomas, 9 of 19, 45 yards. He is complete here, but it's going to be a loss on the play as Kane out of the backfield is stopped short of the line of scrimmage by Tre'Davious White. I tell you, they've had some great corners here. Claiborne, Matthew, Peterson. These young guys, they lack experience, but they certainly have the talent to be as good as those guys I just mentioned.
Well, usually you talk about corners, it's about coverage skills and their range on the field. These guys will cover you, but they're going to come up in the run. They're going to be physical at the line of scrimmage. They're not afraid to get in the backfield and tackle a running back when they have to.
They still call LSU DBU. Incomplete. That was intended for the tight end Osborne. And he was draped in the secondary by Mills. Jalen Mills, the free safety. And again, Thomas and the offense will jog off the field dejected. 8th punt for the Warhawks coming up.
And again, even if they connected on that crossing route, it's going to be well short. They got to find some intermediate routes, 12, 10-yard in routes, something different to get the ball a little bit downfield. They got a big, strong quarterback, but they really can't get the ball down the field.
Justin Menton getting a workout on the punt team tonight. He is one of just 5 players in the entire country who handles all the kicking chores. And this is a bad one. I'm going to mark it at the 34-yard line. That is a 12-yard net punt.
It's not exactly where you want to set this LSU offense up. Not a good kick. But right now, the LSU offense can really take advantage of their position on the field right now.
Studio, USC and Boston College, Cody Kessler to Buck Allen, and a lot of green grass.
Kessler does a nice job looking off and going to Buck Allen, taking it to the house for 6.
Trojans lead by 4. Back to you guys.
Here's our Taco Bell game track. 17-0 LSU here with 5:58 to go in the third quarter. LSU slow to get going at times in that first half. They have scored on their opening possession of the second half. And ready to go here with their second series. And this is their best starting field position at the 34-yard line of ULM. Jennings makes the handoff to Fournette, now rolling to the right, wants to run. And there's not much there. He will get a few yards out of the play. Bacchus in on the tackle. We just saw the highlights of a big game tonight, Boston College, USC. How about South Carolina beating Georgia tonight?
I'll tell you what, you got to give Coach Spurrier credit. Okay, you get waxed pretty much by Texas A&M to open up the season. People are starting to think there's a lot of holes on that team, and everybody's rising up talking about how good Georgia is.
Right.
Then they come into town and they're able to knock them off. I'll tell you what now, this SEC is going to be interesting throughout the season.
Fournette in the backfield. He'll get it. And time, he's going to be stopped a couple of yards short. The first down, but a manageable third down coming up. Yeah, had Georgia won that game, they would have been in the catbird seat, as they say, for the SEC East. Now that's wide open over there.
It really is. And I'll tell you what, you talk about Florida, Kentucky. I mean, these teams are all in the mix early in the season. See who gets hot here.
There's Doral lining up the far right in this formation. High backfield, 4:40 to go here, third quarter. LSU 4 of 9 on third down, and I don't think they're going to get it. They did not, as Fournette is forced back by Hunter Kissinger, a middle linebacker out of Arkansas. And so it'll be 4th and short for LSU.
The ULM defensive line likes to move and hit gaps, and it was going to be interesting to see how the running backs follow their blockers there. Fournette kind of gets caught inside. The hole is outside. That little hesitation right there caused the defense to get their opportunity to tackle him behind the first down marker.
Les Miles is going to go for it here. Kenny Hilliard behind Anthony Jennings, who takes it himself, and it looks like he got it. Where do they spot this? Well, they need a measurement.
It's hard for me to believe that this offensive line going against the undersized ULM defense wouldn't be able to get a first down and get that push they need on the quarterback sneak. Just to make it official, though, let's get them chains out.
We're going to call out the chain gang. The yellow line is not official. The chain is official. Yeah, he got it. That second effort on the push
really all started with Porter at the center. It's tough for a center to snap the ball and get out of your stance right there. First guy out, pushes the wedge inside. Easy first down for the quarterback, Jennings.
Toss back to Fournette. He's got daylight. Touchdown, Leonard Fournette. A 24-yard gallop. No Heisman pose this time. Career touchdown number 2.
Offensive line just treading right now in the second half on this ULM defense. And their best players are at left tackle with Collins. Their left guard, Alexander. If I'm Fournette and they call running play, I definitely want to go to the left-hand side of their line.
Third rushing touchdown for LSU tonight, all by true freshmen. 2 by Williams, 1 by Fournette. Delahousie the extra point. And it's 24-0 here in Tiger Stadium.
You see Fournette bounces it outside. You can't catch him around the edge.
Fournette takes it in to make it 24-0.
Yeah, it's about double teams here. Tight end's going to block out. You got the guard pulling around. The big fullback's going to lead for this touchdown run. And watch Fournette. Really not a complicated run scheme here. Nobody even touches him. You got to love that as a tailback when your lineman, your fullback, your tight end get the blocks, and you can go untouched. Well done by the big boys up front.
7 carries, 49 yards, and a touchdown for Fournette. There was a bad movie with Bill Cosby called Leonard Part 6. That's Leonard Goes for 6.
That's real bad. I'd never heard of that one.
Yeah, it was terrible. He didn't miss much. From the 5, Tyler Kane. Oh my, what a tackle at the 17-yard line. Decleated And the coverage team by LSU, McGee down there, among others. Monday Night Football brings you a meeting between two reigning division champs, LaShawn McCoy, leading Philadelphia's high-powered offense, against two-time Pro Bowl quarterback Andrew Luck and the Colts. Monday Night Football, Eagles and Colts. No other night is Monday night. Are either of these guys on your aforementioned fantasy team?
They're not. I have Stafford out of Detroit, who had an outstanding game himself. But listen, Foles, Eagles down 17, scored 34 unanswered points to win that game last week. I'll tell you what, Chip Kelly's got that offense cranking.
First pass of this series for Thomas is incomplete. Kendall Beckwith, great coverage from his middle linebacker spot. You know, Chip Kelly, you thought maybe he was going to have to adapt to the NFL. He brought everything he was doing at Oregon to the Eagles, and it's working just fine for him.
It is. I'll tell you what, he's done a great job. You look at other coaches like Schiano or Saban go to the next level, and he hasn't been able to adapt. It's not really adapting to the style of play. It's adapting to the type of players that you deal with week in and week out on the roster.
Pressure coming off the edge by Bauer. And he was able to get it to Rashawn Caesar, but just a yard pickup as Martin was also there on the pressure. Thomas not getting a lot of time.
Well, this has been the story all day, and now you got some of the backup defensive linemen in there. Nice pressure by Bauer. Again, another hit, another instance for this team to get to the quarterback and present problems.
ULM 2 for 10 on third down tonight. Pete Thomas incomplete. Was tipped. Fourth down, and Manton will have to come out. Quentin Thomas, the defensive tackle, got a piece of that. Quentin Thomas is a great story for LSU. A month ago, he was ruled out for the season with a torn biceps muscle. Turned out to be minor. That would have been a huge loss on the interior defensive line for LSU, and now it looks like he's going to be just fine for 2014.
I'll tell you, they got so much depth on this team, and they've done an excellent job. I mean, it's a pure dominating performance. You know, it's really no slight to ULM. It just shows you how good this LSU defense really is.
29 straight possessions now without allowing a point. And reminding you that tonight, after we're done here, college football primetime presented by 5 Hour Energy continues. Colorado hosting number 16 Arizona State, also available on Watch ESPN. Colorado has lost 16 of its last 17 Pac-12 games. They're going to have their hands full with Arizona State tonight. And the standings in the Pac-12 North and South as we get our first appearance from Brandon Harris as the quarterback for LSU. And the first play is a handoff for him to Terrence McGee. He'll get 2, maybe 3. Brandon Harris had just 1 series against Wisconsin. Week 1, played most of the second half against Sam Houston State, threw a touchdown, ran for 46 yards and a touchdown last week. However, he also fumbled 3 times. So Anthony Jennings is the starting quarterback for the foreseeable future. They're going to bring Harris along slowly.
Well, these are valuable reps for the backups here, especially at the quarterback position. Sometimes you might need them in the game some point in the season.
McGee tiptoeing along that sideline, wasn't able to stay in bounds before he picked up the first. Did get to ULM territory out at the 49-yard line. Terrence McGee, we said it before, he's accepted his role, Anthony. He's doing a little bit of everything, including special teams, which he sees to be important for his future in this game.
Well, I'll tell you what, if you look at history with LSU, they had a player last year, wide receiver James Walker, okay, had no catches in his senior season, bought in the special teams. He got drafted in the 7th round by the Bengals. He's on their roster. So listen, they're looking for players. If you can play and you're in the SEC, it doesn't matter what position you're playing. Special teams is key, and he's embraced that role.
Darrell Williams with a first down carry as we go under a minute to go here in the 3rd quarter. McGee again in all phases of the game. He is evident.
Yeah, you see him here. He's a blocker in the kickoff. Nice job there. Sparking the big hole. He gets the football as a tailback. Nice moves. Last year's top returning rusher. Turns the corner. He's got good feet. Takes on the hit. Strong, powerful back. That's a lot of value. When you talk about players at the next level, what can you bring to the table? Especially when you're young, you better know how to play special teams when you're not drafted high.
Harris trying to connect with Diarse. Incomplete with 18 seconds to go in the quarter. Terrence McGee, the senior out of Franklinton, Louisiana. 8 carries, 26 yards. And for those very reasons that you just showed, his ability to do everything is why he got number 18 voted on by the team. They don't just give that jersey to anybody. That's a very special number.
They love his leadership. Anybody that can take a step back. I mean, listen, that's what he was, the top returning rusher. I mean, if that was me, I'd be, wow, you know, here's my big opportunity. Then they go get some of the top running backs as freshmen. Now he takes that role. Kudos to him.
Harris misses on his first pass attempt. He goes back to the run game with McGee. McGee hit the backfield. He can't get back to the line of scrimmage. It's going to be a loss of 2 as Mitch Lane is credited with the tackle, the Sun Belt Conference Defensive Player of the Week a couple years ago. And that's going to be the end of the third quarter.
Now listen, it's been a dominating performance defensively for LSU. They're getting to get some of their players on the field now, work it into the game. Done an excellent job so far.
LSU just 15 minutes away from their 400th all-time. 315 yards of total offense for LSU. At times, the offense has played a little uninspired, but it's going to be good enough to win tonight, as we've got Brandon Harris in the game now, the backup quarterback. Harris throws, caught. There's Traven Durrell. First down. Lindsey Pipkins on the stop. It's a 13-yard gain. Anthony Jennings out of the game, maybe for the rest of the night.
This kid's got a nice strong arm. See, Durrell just runs a comeback route, puts the ball right on him. Durrell's still going in this football game.
Overall, with Jennings in the game, how would you grade out the offense?
Well, you know, listen, they're a tremendous running football team. I think they're built off that run and try to get big plays in the passing game. They didn't get those opportunities today. But again, when your defense is playing as well as they have, your offense can go out there. They had the 1 turnover in this game. Other than that, listen, you know, it's not as exciting as maybe the fans want to see. But 24-0 is 24-0.
There's a flag on that play and a penalty against ULM, offside. First down at 5 for the Tigers now. Jennings 11 for 18, 139. Hasn't thrown a touchdown tonight. He has thrown an interception. McGee on the run, and he's got a first down. The 24-yard line.
And listen, this is an experienced group on defense for ULM, okay? 8 returning starters. They have 11 guys with starting experience. You know, it's a bend, don't break. They haven't given up the big plays. I give them credit. When they hit their Sun Belt Conference play, this team's going to be ready to go. Team to be reckoned with when this tape gets turned on by their competition in their conference.
Sun Belt has 4 new teams this year: Idaho, New Mexico State, Appalachian State, and Georgia Southern. And ULM in the preseason poll picked to finish 5th in the Sun Belt. Harris tosses back to McGee. Stiff arm. Cuts it upfield. Along the sideline, lowers his shoulder, and he's going to have the first down. Boy, that was a great run by Terrence McGee.
Listen to this. Fullbacks. Tight end. Look, you got the fullback flipping over people. And then McGee lowers his shoulder. That's a big boy now, 215 pounds, but he's only 5'9". These guys deliver punches, blows. They're tough. They wear on you. Look at the ULM defense right now. Guys are getting a little tired, worn down. I mean, heck, it's not just the linemen. It's the fullbacks, the tight ends. These guys just keep coming at you on offense.
And this is the 9th play of the drive. Harris was in trouble, got away. Now he's on the run toward the corner of the end zone. He's going to be pulled down inside the 5 at the 4-yard line by Lane. A run of 8 on a play that should have been a loss.
Yeah, Harris showing his ability to make people miss. Nice move, tuck the football, don't fumble. Mitch Lane's their best defender, the fastest defender, is able to make the tackle. But listen, be able to create something when it's not there. It's a good quality to have for a young quarterback.
Hilliard checks in, and he'll be the fullback for McGee. It is Hilliard. Look at that power to the goal line. Touchdown LSU. 2 powerful runs back-to-back by the seniors. McGee, then Hilliard for the score.
And really 2 guys that deserve a little credit. Give them the football. Let them get a chance to score. Tough. It's the second time we've seen them score from the fullback position. They've shown that a lot on tape. They're trying to put something on for the future here as they work into their season. But again, too much power, too much strength up front. And you got loads in the backfield. Big, strong running backs that can carry not only the rock, but defenders into the end zone.
31-0. Kenny Hilliard at Patterson High School set Louisiana State records for yards. He's had an up-and-down college career. Les Miles says, watch Kenny Hilliard his senior year. He is going to be special. He gets 6 here. Tennessee in the second quarter, but the game is close.
I'll say this. That 13-member committee, when it comes down to it, we're not going to have a lot of undefeated teams, maybe one, but it's going to be tough. Now, you're going to have to watch some film. You're going to have to see how some of these teams are playing because everybody's going to get knocked off here. You got a bunch of Pac-12 teams that are losing this evening so far in their games, so it'll be interesting now. You really got to see what's going on these tapes that these football teams are playing.
That 13-member college football playoff selection committee will release its first top 25 on October 28th. Until then, we have the Northwestern Mutual AP Top 10 poll to wet our whistle. Florida State idle this week. Auburn, they're idle for the weekend, but they've got a short week per se because they play on Thursday at Kansas State. That game could go a long way to deciding who gets into the college football playoff. On first down, a run for Donald. And ULM had just 17 yards of total offense in the third quarter, and their first play of the fourth quarter nets nothing. Got an injured player down for LSU. It's Jamal Adams, the true freshman from Louisville, Texas. The safety who John Chavis told us
they love him. Could
be a starter before the end of the season. Yeah, they are absolutely excited about Jamal Adams.
I saw him get in on that tackle, walk back. Looks like one of those cramping situations. Some of these players are going to get to come into the game now and play in this fourth quarter. But they do have a lot of depth, Clay, like you said, a lot of true freshmen.
Yeah. And he is going to walk off under his own power. Great sign. They are deep in the secondary. Dwayne Thomas, we've seen him tonight be a factor, especially in the first half with the pressure from the secondary on the quarterback. Jamal Adams is young and up and coming. So he's going to be okay, it looks like. We step aside. Back and back. Les Miles knows how to get his guys amped up.
I love it.
They're at a fever pitch before they run out onto the field here at Tiger Stadium. And they are a little under 12 minutes away from wrapping up their 47th. Check that. They're at 47. Yes. Tonight would be 48th straight non-conference regular season win. 31-0. ULM at the 24-yard line. Donald will pick up a couple. And perhaps win number 400 at Tiger Stadium. I don't see that being a problem here in the next 11.5 minutes. Another milestone under Les's watch. This place has never looked better. The 91st season of football here at Tiger Stadium, and it kind of had a facelift. At 91, you need a facelift. They added about 10,000 seats to the south end zone, and it has changed the sound in here. I didn't think it could be louder, but we've heard it louder tonight, I think. Not so much now because a lot of the fans have gone back to the parking lot for some jambalaya after that 7-yard pickup by Caesar.
Well, it traps in that noise. You know, you get that extra wall of protection, that barrier for that sound to really collapse down. And I'll tell you what, now when those big boys come in, the Alabamas and those big teams, it is going to be rocking in Death Valley.
Another punt here for Justin Manton. 30 straight possessions now without allowing a point for LSU's defense. That's an amazing run. I don't care who you're playing, as that checks up at the 33-yard line. LSU 10-13 to go. 31-0 over UL-Monroe.
If you don't win in September, there is no October. Sunday Night Baseball, Yankees-Orioles at 8. Presented by Taco Bell. Baseball rules on ESPN.
Brendan Fitzgerald back in studio. Let's get you caught up on what's happening in Norman. The Oklahoma Sooners extending their lead. This Keith Ford 11-yard run makes it 20-7. They just went to half. Back to you guys.
All right, Brendan, keep us updated. Back here at Tiger Stadium, Anthony Becht, Don Davenport, I'm Clay Matvick. 31-0 Tigers, the number 10 team in the country. They've had 3 possessions here in the second half, 3 touchdowns. The last touchdown drive led by that man, Brandon Harris, the true freshman quarterback. He gives it to Leonard Fournette, another true freshman. Boy, we've said that a lot tonight because LSU has so many. There's a penalty flag after the run. 16 true freshmen played the first 2 weeks. We've seen a big spoonful of them again tonight.
After the play was over, personal foul, number 63 on the offense. 15-yard penalty, second down.
That's backup guard K.J. Malone. Let's go down to Don Davenport.
Well, Clay, Coach Miles told us he loves the way this team practices. He loves their work ethic, loves how they get after it. But the one that really stood out to me, he says he loves that they listen better than any group he's ever had. I've really seen that here on the sideline. The O-line focused 100% on Coach Grimes. The wide receivers totally engaged with Coach Adam Henry. Really surprisingly quiet here on the LSU sidelines all night because they're focused.
To add to what Dawn's saying, you know, Les Miles has challenged these freshmen. Now, they're just not going in there to play. He's put a high regard, high demand. He's not pulling anything back in their schemes on offense or defense, and he's not patting a lot of these guys on the back, Clay. Look, they're trying to win an SEC championship this year, and if it's going to take the freshmen to do it, he's letting them know that they're going to be a big part of it.
And the schedule gets quite a bit tougher after tonight. They host Mississippi State next week. Dak Prescott, a talented quarterback for the Bulldogs. Bring that group in here. Fournette is dropped behind the line of scrimmage. Then New Mexico State. That should be a win for LSU before their first SEC road game at Auburn, October 4th. And you see down the line the likes of Florida on the road. Ole Miss will not be an easy game here at home. They've got Alabama at home and then 2 on the road at Arkansas and at Texas A&M to close it out.
Well, the one thing I can say about this team is that their defense right now is at the top of the SEC. So when they go play Auburn and they play those tough teams, it'll be interesting to see how that defense plays a huge role in this team's success.
First punt of the second half for LSU. Keene is going to put this one at the 20-yard line. Nice kick by the junior Jamie Keene. 57 yards on that boot. Back in Baton Rouge in a minute. Tag My Chase Nation. The MyAFibStory.com 400 at Chicago. That's Sunday at 1 on ESPN. It's been a tough night on offense for the Warhawks. Kane bottled up and dropped by a host of Tigers. A loss of 3 on the play. Jalen Collins, number 32, he led the way. Hey, I want to apologize to the entire state of Louisiana, Governor Bobby Jindal, everybody, for misidentifying that body of water. It was not Lake Pontchartrain. It was the Mississippi River. Hey, geography was never my best subject.
Did the governor actually tweet you?
No, he did not. Several other folks did. But I'm owning up to it, everybody. I apologize. Second down and 13. Thomas to the 20. And it's going to be third down. Boy, ULM's been in a lot of third down and fairly long situations tonight.
I can't speak enough on this defense. I mean, it really doesn't matter who you're playing, Clay. 70 total yards. This team had almost 500 yards last week.
Yep. But Idaho is a bit of a different story
You're
than
right.
LSU.
But coming into the game, you got to feel like you got confidence somewhere.
Sure.
And it's just that you're right. It's just a different ball game against LSU.
Kenzie Jackson has been quiet out of that receiving core tonight for the Warhawks, but he gets it out to the 33-yard line. That's going to be a first down for ULM. A gain of 13. 12 catches, 170 yards for Jackson in the first two games. He has been held to 17 total yards receiving tonight. 6.5 minutes to go. And again, John Chavis just loves this group. We're seeing a lot of backups in there now. Sione Tahoma in hot pursuit there. He is another defensive end who they like, a true freshman, of course. There's a pickup of 8 for the tight end Siano. But Sione Tahoma is on Pete Thomas's trail after he got rid of the ball. There was Tahoma right there. He had 2 sacks in the fourth quarter last week. Second down and 2. You said it before, they just have so much depth at every position.
And this is a bonus tonight. The young guys get to come in, some of the backups. This will pay off huge dividends down the season.
DeAndre Clark almost had that play as a negative. They somehow got it to Kane. And Jalen Collins makes the tackle. It'll bring up third down and manageable for ULM with 5:20 to go.
To be quite honest, they've been in a lot of manageable third downs tonight. Give credit to LSU on their third down defense. They came into the game forcing teams 24% of the time in conversion rate, and it's only going to get better after tonight.
Juggled and caught for the first down. First down reception for a Jalen Hawley. A gain of 4 and a first. Kendall Beckwith for 52 there in on the stop. Let's talk about the SEC West, Anthony, because LSU is going to be in the thick of this thing. Alabama, they host Florida next week. That's going to be the first SEC test for Alabama. Then 2 straight on the road at Ole Miss and Arkansas. They're still using that 2-quarterback system right now. But what do you make of the Tide?
Well, I mean, listen, I think their quarterback situation is starting to look better for them. I think after that first test against West Virginia, they picked up the slack. I think Sims is going to be the answer moving forward. Again, it'll be interesting to see when these teams play each other. The Texas A&Ms, the Auburns, a lot of depth on that side of the SEC.
Texas A&M, yeah, they're going to be a contender after what we saw the first couple of weeks. We really like Kenny Hill. But they played both Alabama and Auburn on the road. I think those are going to be deciding factors for the Aggies.
Well, you know, the Aggies have to prove they can do it consistently against those type of competition. They've done it one time. Can Kenny Hill continue to do it? That'll be the challenge for the freshman.
Ball is out, still loose. And it looks like LSU has come up with it. Yes, they have. First turnover of the night for ULM, and LSU with the takeaway. And that is 31 straight possessions without allowing a point for this defense as Ronnie Feast recovers the fumble.
Pete Thomas couldn't handle the snap. They had a little read option there. Running back gets bounced into the football. Somebody needs to get it. Feast right there, lands on it, gets another turnover for this LSU defense, their first of the night.
Ronnie Feast is another guy that will not start likely, but they really like his future as Harris sprints out, and he'll get a handful. I mean, he's behind Lewis and Riley at that Sam linebacker spot. That's got to make John Chavis feel good, you know, because injuries, especially in the SEC, and the pounding that you take in this league from week to week, you're going to have injuries flare up.
And sometimes you can get exposed as a team with backup players. And for this team, you look at that depth, this could be a huge bonus for them as they get into their schedule.
He ties it back to Darrell Williams. The freshman has had a nice night with a couple of touchdown runs. Our Wrangler 5-star player of the game tonight is not one player, it is several players. The entire defensive unit for LSU gets the honor tonight. 95 total yards allowed up to this point. They have forced and recovered a fumble, and they have 31 straight possessions now of shutout football.
Well, if this offense can hold the ball here and run this clock out, keeping a team under the century mark, I'll tell you what, congrats to Chief and this defensive core.
The marker down on the far sideline. And I love these headsets. These officials can communicate so fast now as opposed to having to run and talk to each other.
Offside on the offense. Number 82 lined up in the neutral zone. 5-yard penalty. Still third down.
That's another rookie, DJ Chark. Get your NFL Sunday started on ESPN at 10 a.m. Sunday NFL Countdown. And before you set your lineups for the week, our experts on Fantasy Football Now will square you away. That's at 11 a.m. on ESPN2. It's going to be another fun week in the NFL. Harris cocking his arm and firing deep. Inside the 15-yard line, that's going to be pass interference. Malachi Dupree, the intended receiver, and Trey Caldwell got in the way and interfered with him.
It looked like good coverage by Caldwell here down the sidelines. Must have got a hand on Dupree here. Malachi Dupree, #1 rated wide receiver last year. Again, yeah, he pulls down on his arm. Clear cut. Caldwell had earlier in the game, made a nice stop. Play got his head around, but on this play, he cannot grab, push, and knock the receiver down. That's an easy flag for the referees.
Dupree out of John Curtis Christian High School in New Orleans. He's one of those guys they'd like to get going. They feel that maybe they're leaning too much on Durrell. They want Dupree to evolve, Quinn, Diarse, those guys to get more touches from week to week as McGee goes ahead for 2 more. There's one under 2 minutes to go here.
I think it's good anytime you have success in your first 2 games on the offensive side of the football. This would be a great teaching tape for Les Miles, especially the fact that the majority of his players are young at the skilled position. They'll be able to get something out of this film moving forward. You keep blowing teams out or you have lopsided wins, sometimes you fall a little absent-minded to some of the things that are going on as a player. And I think in this game, they'll get better during the week than they will on the field today.
Darrell Williams on the run, Robinson on the tackle. Third down and 2. Harris under center as we've got a minute to go here in Baton Rouge. A big Pac-12 game coming up here tonight on ESPNU. Arizona State at Colorado. We're going to have that one for you as LSU picks up another first down. So the Tigers going to go to 3-0 here. They'll host Mississippi State next week. This place should be rocking for an important SEC tilt.
It should be a great contest. Both teams will get better here. ULM getting into their conference schedule. They got to be happy about how they play defensively. Offense, they got to get it charged up. But they met a juggernaut today with this LSU defense.
Just 95 total yards of offense for ULM tonight against that LSU defense. Second consecutive shutout for Les Miles Tigers. And it's the second time in 2 meetings against ULM. 31-0 as Miles and Todd Berry shake hands. LSU 3-0. UL-Monroe 2-1. That's 48 straight non-conference regular season wins for the Tigers. Coming up next, we're going to send you back to the studio to catch you up on a busy Saturday in college football, and we'll get you ready for number 16 Arizona State and Colorado. For Anthony and Don, I'm Clay. We say so long from Baton Rouge. 31-0 the final. Now Brendan, Charles, and Jason in the studio.
Guys, thanks. So the Bayou Bengals go to 3-0 on the season. Arizona State looking to do the same. Taylor Kelly, more than 7,000 passing yards in his career. And coming up in just under 7 minutes, Arizona State and Colorado from Boulder. Brendan Fitzgerald along with Charles Arbuckle and Jason Sehorn.